the third of our fourth lesson on giving for this year. You know, every year we try to touch every subject, but we cannot spend all the time on one subject. But at least we want to get the education on every little thing that God says His children should do. And so that lesson today comes from a lot of passages in the Bible. We decided to read something here for all the scripture reading. But as we go ahead, I'll give you places where you actually can write it down, can study it, can know what to do when the Lord talks with you about the subject we're going to have. And I want to begin with a story that I heard from somebody else, and I read it on paper. And so the story is about a comedian who was telling a story about a preacher. He said a preacher was trying to get his people to be more enthusiastic about their church. He was trying to get his church to be more committed and excited about the things of the church. And so he began by saying, I give you this quote, if this church is going to get anywhere, it has to begin by creeping or crawl. You know, the baby starts crawling and it gives the family an excitement. And so when he said this, the congregation responded, yes, Pastor, let this church crawl. And then he went on to say that if this church is going to learn how to walk, then if this church is going to grow, then they have to learn how to walk. And then the congregation answered, yes, Pastor, let it walk. Let it walk. And then the preacher went on and said, with a lot of excitement, after learning to crawl, learning to walk, he said, if this church is going to grow, then they must learn how to run. And all the people answered, let it run, Brother Pastor, let this church run. And then the pastor said, if any church is going to run, it's going to take money to run the church. And then the people said, let it crawl, let it creep. Pastor, let this church creep. The idea here is that there is something about the dollar or penny that when somebody hears about it, there are two ways that you think about it. If somebody tells you about an employment over there that will pay you higher than what you are earning, your desire will be to go there. And the majority of the people, if somebody tells you the place where you can go make some donation, it's very sensitive. And so many people try to stay away from anything that will take away the penny that they have earned after a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of praying to get a visa from Cameroon to get here to the United States. And then you have to forget about the things that you have learned over there. You try to learn the thing that you can do here to get paid. And then when you get the money, the thing that happens is that you expect a lot of it. Because we all come here with a lot of expectation. You get excited, you expect a lot, and then when you get that first job, you appreciate the check, though. But when you live from staying with somebody and then now you're on your own, and then you have to divide your paycheck into paying bills. The electricity, the water, the house itself, the buying of food, if you already have a car, the maintenance of the car, the gas into the car, and all of these things. At the end of the day, you see that that check is too small. And so your desire, by nature, is to get more so that you can meet those bills. But the temptation is that as soon as you get a little higher, you bump up the things that you do with the money. And so you're ever running short, and you get up, and the desires of spending increases. And then the hardship and the temptation that follows hardship is to stay away from where you give that money and don't have anything in exchange for it. And the church, so many people have complained, is that when we go to church, we hear the song, Fala, Fala, Fala. Fala is a language from the Northwest who says, give, give, give. And this man, one day in the village, stood up and said, the church is always singing, give, give, give. When are they going to sing, take, take, take? All of us here, we have a responsibility to God. We have a responsibility to family. And then, one other thing that makes the African demands more than the ones of America is that we are tied to the extended family. So that when you share that paycheck according to the bills that you have to pay here, you don't forget mom and dad. You don't forget the very friends, good friends that push you to get over here. And then the uncles that you never even know them, they will be calling and they will be needing something. And the friends that didn't contribute in any way, as soon as they hear that you're in America, they need a lot of help from you. And so you see how that paycheck is stretched so thin. And I want to come to you this morning in humility, taking you to 2 Corinthians chapter 8. That's where we would have actually read this morning, but I gave you a wrong one on the bulletin. So, before I start to talk to you about that, I want to introduce you to the topic of the sermon today. A few weeks we talked about the joy of forgiveness. As for the most of the songs that are favorite, always have something to do with joy. I have the joy of salvation, that's the most important one. And then the joy of seeing friends, the joy of staying healthy and all of that. We talked about the joy of forgiveness. And then last week, can anybody remember what we talked about last week? The cause that we can never escape. The appointment with death. And today, I want us to talk about the joy of giving, the joy of letting go. I think one of the giving ones I have titled it, the giving that hurts your wallet. And I want you to remember that if you give something out of excess, you have done nothing. Did you hear me? If you give something out of excess, you have done nothing. If you give something out of hardship, you have done something. And the Lord appreciates that. So we want to hear what Apostle Paul talked about giving in 2 Corinthians chapter 8. The first 12 verses, he actually covers this, extending to the other passages, but he shared with the church in Corinth that there is joy that comes with giving. That there is joy in generosity. Jesus said in Acts chapter 20, verse 35, it is more blessed